This time it was different. When I pulled up to the house, the dad wasn't there, but the wife was, and she was not happy. Through her 3 glasses of wine slurs, I was able to gather her husband was working late, and she was annoyed enough that she was going to date night without him. I probably replied with some vague misandry that she approved of before she stumbled out the door at 7. Her husband came home approximately 3 minutes later, took one look at me, and told me to put the kids to bed. When I got back downstairs, he was sitting on the armchair, placing down a glass of whiskey. The lights were low, but I could see the way he was looking at me, his gaze heavy enough that it was almost like his hands tracing over my skin. I asked him if he was all right, and he just beckoned me closer. No words, just that 2-finger gesture, and his piercing eyes locked on mine. When I reached him, he looked up at me and slowly opened his thighs. I hadn't realized how big they were, stretching the material of his suit. Again, he beckoned me forward. I felt hypnotized. My heart was in my throat. I stepped between his legs. Immediately his hands were on me, so big and warm, sliding up the backs of my thighs, stopping just before the edge of my skirt. He had me pinned with his eyes, almost daring me to challenge him, to ask him what he was doing. I didn't want to give him the satisfaction. He slid down to the backs of my knees and tugged gently, pulling me onto his lap. When I settled down onto him, my pussy fit directly over the curve of his cock through his suit trousers, and I couldn't help but gasp. There was so little material between the two of us. I could feel my heartbeat thrumming in my neck. He said, "Do you know how long I've wanted to do this?" He was whispering low into my ear, his lips ghosting my skin. One of his hands was snaking up my back, arching me into him, and I could feel how hard my nipples were when they brushed against his chest through my t-shirt. I needed to tell him I wanted him, but my body was doing it for me. "You'll be a good girl for me, won't you?" he said.